If you sell real estate, have you ever wondered how you can secure a income of $100,000 in 100 days? Well, we're going to share some ideas with you today. I have Kevin Coulter, my sales director with the Carrie Ann Carter Group, with us today. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Happy
Kevin.
to be here.
Yeah, I always love having you on, Kevin. Kevin coaches the team, and we're always looking for great agents that want to be a part of a team that loves growing and learning. And we're actually today, we are launching 100K in 100 days. Kevin, share with us what is that and what does it mean for the team?
Sure. So we're part of the Tom Ferry organization, and we're the team is collectively all of us are participating in the 100K in 100 days. It actually started a week ago, but we're in full steam now, and basically it's just kind of a playbook to get agents excited about conversations, about networking, about picking up the phone and calling people, getting to open houses. And it's really just kind of a team collaboration of, building their business. And Tom Ferry's got a great playbook for the 100K in 100 days. And every day there's something to do. And we have an online tracking uh, platform in Loom with the Tom Ferry organization. So we're keeping track of the hours of power that we do, the conversations we have, the emails that we have, the text messages we do, the calls we do, the appointments made, the appointments attended, and the listings taken and the buyer rep docs signed. So pretty
That's a lot.
excited. Yeah, yeah, pretty excited to get that going. But there's a great playbook. So if agents are like, thinking, oh man, what do I do today? Well, it's just all laid out.
Yeah,
So, today is the day that I, make 10 phone calls to my sphere and I send 5 emails, follow up with 3 people from last week's open. It's all laid out in the playbook. So pretty
beautiful.
excited, and we're gonna run some uh, do a little bit of competition and run some prizes as we start plugging away the tracker here with the team.
You have to make it fun because I think this is one of the reasons why in this industry, in this business, we love helping people, but you also need to make an income, right? And
Mhm.
there is a religion to it, a consistency and a tenacity to stay in front of people. And I think people get worn out. The fail rate now is 90%, I think, in 3 years in the real estate industry. Isn't that incredible? That's
Yeah,
just mind blowing to me, truly.
yeah.
So, what do you think the number one obstacle is, Kevin, for people in this business?
I think most of it is, when you have agents on their own and they're, have a home office, it's hard to get motivated. I mean, you ask anybody, and that's probably the number one reason. It's hard to get motivated. So, a lot of the top producing agents in the Twin Cities are in the office for a reason, right? It just it helps separate the home from work. So now you're at the office, you're in an environment where a little easier maybe to get that motivation going. Being with a team like ours, we have agents in the office all the time and doing a lot of events together. And this 100K in 100 days is just something to pull the team together and build some friendly competition and some camaraderie as we meet and plug away at the playbook. So yeah, I think the biggest thing is just to get self motivation is hard.
I
um,
agree. I do agree, but you can also make it so exciting. And there's something so energizing about connecting the dots for people, thinking outside the box. You get on that first call and you start getting the juices going, I call it. And it's like, it's so amazing. It's such an
yeah,
amazing, gratifying experience. I just think teaching people how to dig into that piece of it and not really realizing. what this business really is. I mean, there's
Hmm.
a whole lot of unpacking to do with people's lives, right?
Hmm.
People
Yeah, it's
see it as house fronted, but really it's people fronted business.
yes. Yeah, it's all about the stories. Yeah, it's all about the stories. An example of a person coming into the open last week, first time home buyer, didn't really understand the programs out there for first time home buyers. And I just shared the story with Renee, one of our agents. Her daughter just bought a house, first time buying a house, and put 1,000 down and brought $90 to the closing table. And her eyes just lit up like she had no idea that these programs existed. So, yeah, just thinking outside the box, and it's sharing a story that I learned from one of our team members in the office and sharing it with someone at an open house. And as you know, Carrie Ann, you're the master at having conversations and learning the stories behind people and navigating finding a solution for them. But yeah, there's all kinds of stories out there. You just have to think outside the box a little bit and kind of remember a story that you learned 3 years ago
Right.
or a month ago or a week ago, and just find that one piece that relates with the person that you're talking with.
So, not to sidetrack, but I actually personally, I'll say 25 years, I did not know, especially just recently, the a number of programs available for first time home buyers. We got a we just had a team meeting with our lender, Chad Johnson with Bell Mortgage, and I had no idea that there was that much resource available that somebody can come into a new home buying experience and literally come to the table with very little money. Let's just touch on that for a minute. We'll just focus on that and push that out to all those new buyers out there because it's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, the lending institutions have kind of their own programs, and they'll tap into Minnesota Housing, for example, has some fabulous first time home buyer programs, and then each city, there's a lot of cities out there that help with funding and grants for first time home buyers. So. Yeah, it is pretty amazing all of the resources that someone can tap into from their lending institution or Minnesota Housing or the city themselves. Pretty amazing what's out there.
So an example is one of these buyers put 1,000 down for the down payment, and they literally came to the table with $100, and the
Yeah, $90.
$90. Isn't that incredible? Just
Yeah.
the combination, you can layer these programs apparently. There are
Hmm.
special lenders that help you do this. So we've received like there's hesitation. You're looking at 21 to let's say 35, right? That age group. And a lot of people are so fearful of the money conversation and they have no idea. You have no idea how many resources are available out there that can help you during a time when housing continues to go up in value every single year. So the sooner you enter into the ecosystem of home ownership, the sooner you can start building equity. Because in fact, the rental costs in our city, we'll speak to the Twin Cities and state of Minnesota, it's expensive. It's pretty
And
hard.
then that's going up too.
Yeah.
The rents are going up too. So yeah, it's something that like you said, people I think are just fearful of the unknown. They just don't know. They don't know where to go, where to turn, who to ask.
Hmm.
So I would suggest if they have a real estate agent, reach out, and if they have a lender, for sure, reach out to their lender and just ask the question, like,
Right.
what programs do you have for first-time home buyers? That's really the start of it, is just picking up the phone and asking.
And we do, we'll tag on this show, we'll tag our preferred lender, great resource, veteran agent, 25 plus years, so resourceful, literally. And if not now, the question is then when? If you can't position yourself right now today, it's part of our job is to help plan the future. So if that means 6 months out or 12 months out, whatever that means, it's not about transactional, it's about preparation and planning to help you be a homeowner. That's what
Yeah.
we really want to do.
Yeah, in Minnesota Housing, I found interesting too, has programs for duplexes, which I thought was kind of interesting, as long as they're living in one of the units, but what a great way to get into a first time duplex and instantly be not only a homeowner but an investor, and rent out the other side. So I thought that was interesting as well, that not a lot of people know about.
Yeah, that's an interesting trend. So I did personally, I did a lot of duplex up to fourplex work from maybe 2002 to 2008, 9, right before the recession. And all of it was homeowner driven so they could offset. I
Mm-hmm.
see that being a double dipper now, where you have the young people that can come in and help offset their mortgage and have start building equity and start building up a portfolio. Separately, I see that being a wonderful opportunity for those that are empty nesting or right sizing, I call it, where they maybe are looking for something that is here in the city, but they don't want to go into a condo. They have main floor livability, and then they can rent up the upper level. I see that being very helpful, and I'm seeing more duplexes on the market in our city. Interestingly, I think it's the process right now when 40% of our market right now is in fact right sizing, so 55 plus. It's a very interesting time in the world right now in real estate. The balance
Yeah.
of it, young, and I'm not going to say old, but 55 plus, there's a big chunk of humans falling in each of those categories right now, which makes this dialogue really interesting as we circle back to our agents and the business. So we're going
Hmm.
full circle. How do you do that? If you're a new entry into the business, regardless of age, or regardless of number of years that you've been selling real estate, how do you put people in front of you to share your knowledge and maintain a consistent career with an income flow that will, reap the rewards you're looking for personally? And that comes back to the word in my mind, accountability.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
how do
And it's it- you got to love Zoom and technology, Carrie Ann, but you cut out there for about 10 seconds. So forgive me if I missed a question you asked, but
you?
back to the first time home buyers, Carrie Ann, and all the programs they have, there's the older generation, and we'll say just 40 and up, that do the strategy of buy kind of a fixer upper, and they'll live in it for a couple years and renovate over the course of a couple years. And after 2, 3, 4 years, they'll sell it, avoid the capital gains, and then do it again. And I just heard this story from a gentleman last week. He was telling me, and he's doing it more on the higher end, the luxury level. But even the first time home buyers could do this. They could get into their place, and they, depending on what program they do, they might have to pay back the loan that they get. But they could live in it for a few years and fix it up. And if it's a duplex, they're renting out the other side, help offset their mortgage. And after a while, they could sell that and buy another fixer upper and live in it for a couple of years, and sell, avoid the capital gains, and keep doing that. That's a good strategy for a lot of different people. And if you're building up the equity, and the first time home buyers, they want to kind of do the buy and hold. They could do the same thing as get first time home buyer into a duplex after a few years, and they pay down the mortgage, and they have enough equity and enough cash built up to put a down payment on another home. They could keep that as a rental, so that now they have two tenants, probably cash flowing by that time, and they buy another property, and that's their home for a while, and they live in it for a couple of years, and then they buy another home and rent that, and it's a great way just to build an investment portfolio.
That's
So
incredible. We could do a whole teaching session on that. I think we need to.
Yeah.
It's a great way for young people to get started, don't you think?
Yeah, it's a fantastic way. And I have a friend that did that years ago, and now he has a small portfolio of single family rentals. So
That's incredible. That's incredible. I see you doing that, Kevin.
well, yeah, I did kind of that strategy on accident. I had my house here in Minnesota, and I got a job out of state. So I rented my house here, and I was cash flowing, and bought a house in Phoenix, and lived there for 3 years. And then when I moved back to Minnesota, I sold it and reaped the rewards of the Phoenix market going through the roof over 3 years. Didn't pay any capital gains because I lived there for more than two years, and moved back into my rental when my tenant moved out. It was just a perfect scenario and perfect situation. And I do hear those stories. A lot of people that are moving out of state, they might have a contract job. Over a recent example, a recent story, this gentleman worked for General Mills and he went overseas. He had, I think it was a 2 year contract he had. So he rented his house, did a 2 year lease on it, went over there. I don't think he bought over there, he rented. But when he moved back after the lease order, he still had his house here with equity building and cash flowing on his rent. So it can be a good strategy to kind of keep those investment properties as a place you homestead and as a place you rent. So. And in this property, I'm back here now living in my rental, but I'll always keep this property as a rental. We have the mortgage paid down quite a bit, and if I put another tenant in, it'll cash flow well. So this will be part of my investment, my retirement account
I think
for the long run.
it's an incredible business plan, and what I would call a line. So when you're circling back and coaching team members, and how you go back to the 100K and 100 day that we started with, we always say, how many lines do you have in the water? It's like fishing, to maintain consistency in your business. And I've always been a believer in investment portfolio work. We're actually members of Minnesota Commercial Association of Realtors. We have been for 20 plus years now. A lot of people don't know that. I did a lot of commercial work in the first decade of the business. And then with the recession and just the consumption really of investment work, that it changed, the face of our commercial world changed in the second half of the last 2 decades, where a lot of it was being gobbled up, I'll call it, by large organizations, right? But you're seeing a shift again of portfolio interest. And I absolutely think it's something that's teachable, scalable, and it's an opportunity for you to expand on conversations that are right in front of you. People would have no idea unless you bring it up, right?
Yeah, and when I first got my license in 2012, I dove headfirst into the leasing, single family leasing world. And it's amazing how many realtors don't know that space, or they know of it, but they don't know. They know just enough to be completely frightened of it.
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic industry. And, for our hop sessions for new agents that don't really have a sphere, maybe they just moved to Minneapolis, they don't really have friends and family, they don't really have a sphere built up, they have no database. An excellent way to have conversations is to get on hotpads.com, which is owned by Zillow. And it's a syndicated marketplace for just rentals. And you can filter it out to just homeowners because there's property management companies and brokers that list properties on there. But um, individual homeowners also list on there, for rent by owner, we'll call it.
Mhm.
And their phone number's on there. And you just pick up the phone and you let them know who you are and you're interested in, and how many rentals they have and would they ever consider selling. We have a shortage of inventory in the Twin Cities. It's amazing the conversations you have out of calling those people. It just absolutely amazing. how many, number one, how many people you call actually own more than one rental, and two, how many of them will actually like listen and maybe think about it. Like, I've owned this for 10 years and, I'm approaching my 60s and I own 10 other rentals in the Twin Cities. Yeah, I might be interested in something like that.
It's
Um,
shocking
so
how many people, owners like that exist in our city and all over the country. Every,
Yeah, so it's a great way to have somebody to talk to if you're a newer agent and you just don't have a clue. You have no Instagram followers, you have no database, you have no sphere. It's a great way to reach out to people and just ask the question like, hey, have you ever been thinking about selling? Because we have no inventory in the Twin Cities.
Mhm.
And a lot of buyers. With a team like us, we can tap into not only one team member's buyers, we can tap into the whole team's buyers. So
Right.
we have a database of buyers that are looking for properties. So
It's incredible. It's like a web, is what I call it. And one conversation can turn into 10 opportunities
yeah.
just through conversation. And then you
Mhm.
double down on that and you have all the team members coming together. It's an extraordinary, it can be a little overwhelming, granted, but when you come together as a team, we've got infrastructure that we've built, Kevin has built, that allows us to keep sanity. And I think the biggest challenge for people is starting because of overwhelm and feeling like they're going to like, "Ah, my brain is exploding. I can't do this." And you can. And there is a way to maintain organization. And there's a way to be, accountable when you're part of a cohesive team that's doing this work every single day.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. That's
Yep.
really what I wanted to talk about today. I think that it's going to be an amazing, amazing fourth quarter. I feel like we're just gearing up right now. It's been an interesting year in terms of people making decisions. And I feel like we've just hit that starting point, really, like we're at the beginning, and the finish line is, well, I don't think there is one. I think we're going to be blowing right through the holidays and hitting the ground running in January, and we have so many buyers out there that we're seeing, so many, so it's really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we have the ingredients right now for a good fall market. We're still getting really good weather, and the interest rates are, trending down,
Mhm.
which is causing one, more buyers to kind of start exploring the whole, buying a home, and two, the sellers going, maybe now is the time that I need to sell because interest rates are low, and when I go and buy my next property.
Mhm.
So we have the ingredients that are just right for a great fall market here in Minneapolis, and we usually do have a pretty good fall market,
Yeah.
as long as we don't get the 1991 Halloween snowstorm.
No, no, shh.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, historically, fourth quarter has always been a personal best for me, historically, always. So,
Mhm.
and that's we're certainly feeling the momentum. We've got an artisan tour home right around the corner here that's launching, and we are have the building blocks, some amazing real estate that's coming on and launching over the next week, 2 weeks, and we see that continuing on. So, 100K, 100 day. If you want to learn more about that, give Kevin a call and we can teach you how to be a consistent top producer. Kevin, thank you so much for being with me
Thank you,
today.
Karen.
I appreciate it. Have a great day,
You're
everybody.
welcome.
See you next time on Fly the Coop.